Jesus told his disciples that he would send the Spirit of truth to teach all the truth. Jesus was speaking to some simple people. His followers were not highly educated. And also he was only teaching for 3 years, which was not enough time to tell the entire story that he needed to tell. And what he said is that what he had to teach would be unbearable to them. So after his death in the 2nd century, his promise was fulfilled. The Spirit of truth came to the city of Alexandria, where the great library of Alexandria existed, and all the knowledge collected existed there. A man was born, his name was Origenus, or Origen of Alexandria. And he started teaching at a very young age. He spent 50 years of his life teaching about the Bible, teaching about the reconciliation between the Judaism, between the wisdom of the Greeks, Platonism, Socrates, Euclid, Pythagoras, and the teachings of Jesus Christ. The first work that he endeavored on was called the Hexapla. He took the 5 major Old Testaments that existed at the time of Jesus and laid them out side by side, phrase by phrase. He laid out the Aramaic, the Hebrew, the Greek versions. You can imagine the magnitude of that task, of being able to strip out every phrase in the Old Testament from all the 5 versions of the Bible and lay them out side by side. No one has ever done that beforehand or afterwards. It's considered a life's work. But he accomplished it in an amazing amount of time. And what he found, of course, was errors and omissions. He found that the various versions didn't include texts that other versions included. He found that many differences existed between the various versions of the Bible, the Old Testament. And this was his starting point to start to reconcile the teachings of Jesus with the teachings of the prophets, the original teachings of the prophets, after having weeded out the errors and omissions from the Old Testament. During his lifetime, he created over 6,000 works. He was an amazing teacher. He taught during the day, and he dictated at night. He had 7 stenographs working for him and 7 copiers responsible for copying his works. It was long before the Gutenberg press, but they produced enough copies to go out to all the libraries and all the villages. All the priests were able to read what he wrote. The crowning achievement on his work was the 32-book commentary on the Gospel of John. John, of course, is the most spiritual book in the Bible. John was the most enlightened of the apostles. And the 32 books that Origen wrote at the end of his lifetime explained the relationship between God and his only son, Jesus, and explained all the important points within John's gospel. Unfortunately, in the 6th century, the powers of Rome decided to destroy his works. The vast majority of his works were destroyed by the Emperor Justinian when he dictated in 543 AD that Origen's works were anathema. That's a huge loss for humanity, because what Origen had done was created an extremely logical view of the reason for human life. And that was published in his work, The Restoration of All Things, explaining that we're all children of God, regardless of what religion you belong to. And that Jesus created a path to heaven for all of us. It's a long, slow path, but it's a sure restoration of God's kingdom back to its original glory. And this is a very peaceful teaching. No one claims authority over another on this earth, and no religion is better than another one. But they all teach the same thing, that we need to love our neighbors. We need to do unto them as we would have them do unto us. And that's the core teaching of what Jesus said, because we are all spiritual brothers and sisters who are all on a path back to heaven. Some are just starting the path, and some are in the middle of their path, and some are in the end of their path. But it's all the same direction.